Oh, you know. I'm good.
It did. It's so weird. I got it. Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
We have another one by caller.
Oh, okay.
That work?
I don't know if we're working on. Fine with me.
Worked for me last time.
Okay.
Worked quite well.
Yeah, just do exactly what you guys did last time.
Yeah, that'll work. Sometimes we just like
Just for a minute.
You never know what song's going to play. But you know how even if we fold.
Hello.
My friends are positive.
I'm getting ready to put you on speakerphone if you're okay with that. If you're to participate with us so we can show the game. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put you on speaker, okay? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I'll make a motion that there is the affirmation that there's a presence of a quorum with Cheryl Pullum speaking to us via phone. Cheryl, are you there? Can you hear us?
I can.
Okay.
Remember, you're on speaker, Cheryl. And then you had a couple other things you wanted to add to the agenda if you want to go ahead. Second.
Oh, 1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Also, you had a couple things that you wanted to add to the agenda.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Two things if I could ask the board to add to the agenda tonight. Tim Crabtree, him and I have been discussing it last week, and we have a finalized copy here tonight that I can distribute. He would like to present the second annual Ruby Drop request for funding. So if I could have a motion to add that one to the agenda.
Right, should we add it to the agenda?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the second item I had is if we could add under new business as well, we have a second applicant that's filled out an application to be on the TDA board. If we could add that individual for discussion as well.
Also move.
Second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now we can move down to the October 12th board meeting minutes and a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving down to the financial report.
Okay. In your agenda packet, for the month of September, for August, your collection is now at $10,743.41. No, that did not get put in there. My apologies. Your actual total for your September collections is $10,624.11, and that's on your third page. That is actually what was collected this month, so I need to make a notation there. So your net collections to date is $25,525.40. You can see below your expenditures as of today. So total expenditures is $40,912.45, with the remaining balance is $72,287.55. The Smoky Mountain Center, we did allot $15,000 for that organization. So if you take the balance of what we owe the Smoky Mountain Center and what we spend in expenditures, you have a total balance with commitments at $57,287.55. On the third page, you will see a notation for that's actually one of the best Septembers you've had since fiscal year 2012-2013. You were up significantly from last year to $10,624.11. And then your next page, you'll see a breakdown of what you spent to date within your existing budget line items. And that's all I've got.
Need a motion? I'll make a motion. To approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to subcommittee reports.
I don't have anything.
Policy and procedures, Vicki's not here. Applications.
No, just the ones I was in.
Okay. Moving on to old business. Funding request for the Macon County Transit.
Okay, I spoke with the town attorney from last meeting. I know that there were some questions and clarification. The attorney said that this would be a possibility if it's something that the TDA board wanted to do. Since it is another local government agency, it would need to be done in the form of an interlocal agreement between the TDA and Macon County as a whole. So it is possible to do it. One thing he did ask me to note, which you can, as you can see, I've passed out under your bylaws in section 2.2, use of TDA funds, the TDA board may approve projects and make grants that in its discretion promote travel and tourism pursuant to Session Law 2004-105 in these bylaws. However, the TDA disfavors uses of TDA funds for recipients' current operating expenses, including but not limited to salaries, rent, purchases of insurance, and payment of utility expenses such as electricity, water, and sewer service and fuel. So he wanted me to point that out as well. However, if you'll notice, the key phrasing in that sentence is that it's the TDA's discretion. So it's within your privy to move forward with this request if you'd like. Just food for thought, but it would need to be done as an interlocal agreement since it's actually between another government entity.
And that would be County of Macon?
Yes.
Have you talked to anybody? Have you talked to the manager?
I have talked with Derek. Now, Ms. Kim Angel, the Macon County Transit Director, is here tonight, so if you have any questions of her.
I actually just had a meeting with the county attorney and the county manager just prior to this meeting. They are, in total support of the project and certainly support the notion that we can get funds to help offset the cost so that it doesn't cost additional tax dollars to us.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Cheryl, that was Kim Angel. She was reiterating that she had spoke with the county manager and the county attorney in reference to Macon County Transit's request. And both the county manager and the county attorney are in full support of this request.
So what actually would there be funding if there can't fund salaries, rent, insurance, payment of utility expenses, electricity, water, sewer, fuel?
Well, it's also at our discretion. Yeah. So the total deficit, so I get this straight, total deficit is $67.50, or is it 13?
The cost of the program, based off of last year's metrics, was 13,000 and change. And then also going off of last year's fares, take fares out of the cost of the program, the void left would be the $7,000. So these requests were made to help fill Kim's void, so she was not reporting a loss. And we can only go off of 2015's numbers. We don't know what 2016's ridership is going to look like. It could be, and we don't know. The chance of it costing more than that, very slim.
But it has increased every year.
Last year, the first year, it was wrong.
But I mean, with the hikers and stuff.
What we were doing.
So, interesting stat on that. Just so Matt and I, I don't want to get on a tangent here. Matt and I just came back from West Virginia. We were at the first annual Appalachian Trail Community Summit. All the AT communities, representatives from all the communities from Maine to Georgia got together in Harpers Ferry. And we got lots and lots of cool information. One of the big things was AT growth has been 100% every 10 years. So every 10 years, the AT is used, goes up 100%. So
my question is, their total deficit is 67.
it's not going down. It's not losing popularity.
750, we can do 50%, and TDC can do 50%.
Is TDA the only one helping with this?
No, shouldn't be.
Have you
But
talked
I
to
won't
them?
know that till next week.
Have you talked to the TDC?
I know.
We approached TDC. We haven't heard back from them.
Yeah.
Well, the TDC.
They're waiting to see what we do.
And if I can just add a few comments here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prior to this season, we were getting calls and it wasn't like an on demand, and that's very costly to us.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, sorry, Kim. That's okay.
I know Cheryl
I know
knows
you can't hear
coming
me,
up front.
so- Okay.
Right here.
So prior to this year, we were just getting on-demand calls and we were running up and down the mountain just kind of at will. Yeah. So that's very costly to do that.
Yeah.
It's much more cost effective if we can make multiple, trips that are advertised, get multiple people on there. And that's what we did this year. What we are proposing to do for 2016 is not only provide that service, but we're going to add a run. So we'll do 3 times a day rather than 2 times a day. In 2015, we went for what we decide 9 weeks, right, Ron?
It was 15 from middle of February to the end of May.
But this year we did 9.
Yeah,
And we want to expand to 15 for 2016. So, and then obviously we're still doing some, even after that, the heavy season, the northbound hikers get through. We still do some transports. We did one today, as a matter of fact. Had a hiker who needed to get back to the trail. So, and we've done several in the last couple of weeks. Because some of the southbound hikers, I think, are coming in. So, not only are we asking to support this, but to support the expansion of it. And obviously by expanding, what we want to do is get this in we want to get it in the AT guide and all the guides that the hikers use. And I'm not very well versed in all of this, so Rob has been a great resource for that. So what we want to do is be able to get the word out, and we feel like if we can fill the van up, fill the club each time we go. And I'm sure we will. Once the word is there, it's advertised in print, and we've made that commitment. And I gave him the times last week to put it in the guide, so with hope that we would find the funding to help offset the rest.
And is there a cost to them at all?
Yes, because it is part of our general public service. There is a cost, but their fare is the same as anybody else. It's the $3 per boarding. So it's a $6 round trip to them. And once they come in, they can use our route that runs in town, the Mountain Gym, and that's $1 per boarding.
Which is better than them paying $100 is what they're paying some people to shuttle them from one spot to the other.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Any discussion?
That TDC is waiting to hear what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what Connie's saying.
Yeah.
Not until next week.
And
correct?
TDC meets next Thursday at like 12:15. And I'll be there.
Are they matching what we do?
I haven't spoken to them about it.
Well, that's what we're working on, which is why they are waiting to see what we do.
There's nothing said about matching.
Okay.
I'd like to see us do a third and then do 2/3, but that's just me.
Is that a motion, Josh?
I know. Go 50.
It's definitely a need.
You need
I mean, I see that, but
Make the motion. Go 50. I'll second it. And then I'm there next year.
You make the motion.
I'm fine. Make a motion that we go 50%.
Put in there an interlocal agreement, though,
Oh,
to
yeah.
allow the county attorney and the town attorney to work on an interlocal agreement between the TDA as an entity and Macon County as an entity. That way it should minimize, because this is not a private partnership. This is two government agencies, if you will, the TDA being an authority and Macon County being a government agency,
Okay.
to draft up an interlocal.
And we'll do all that. And, yeah, that'll work with them too. Work on that.
I'll second it.
Cheryl,
I have one more question. Are you working with anyone else besides TDA and CC? Like hotels or, like you were saying, Candy?
I agree that the hotel should have to pay something, or would want to, because that's an amenity that they're offering to their guests by having them shuttled to their facility,
Right.
plus shuttling them to where they need to go. Because none of ours have a shuttle service.
I know, but the problem with that is we don't have enough time this year to get that accomplished. If this is something that we may need to see grow again, we've got a year to work on that before it needs to get into the publication.
And we could also work with them to purchase passes or something, day passes for them to use the mountain gym.
That's a cost, I mean, that's a miscellaneous fee that we could charge guests for getting the shuttle service.
Yeah.
And pay them out directly.
But we don't have time right now.
If I can throw something into this, I think the contribution that this has through sales tax dollars is probably the largest impact. When you go and, just think, you talking about other hotels, like putting hotels on the spot for, hey, I think you guys should help cover this. My perception that there's more hiker dollars spent outside of hotels than there are. Like, if you want to be a technical one, I think Walmart, Ingles, and the restaurants and everybody else, I mean, there's as many, chances are a hiker will spend more at Ingles than they will at the hotel. So why would the hotels have to cover that, not Ingles or?
Because at the hotels, I mean, they are in walking distance, and most of them want to, most of those places, but they get shuttled in by someone else
Right.
because it's such a walk. Most of them don't care walking to the post office or anywhere else, but.
I'm just thinking this service is, the whole reason that the service was brought up was to provide, to get hikers into town, to get them into Franklin, off the trail, regardless of where they stayed, just to help boost local economy as a whole, not just for lodging. Obviously, lodging is a huge plus when they're here. We know the statistics say that if they come into town thinking that they may just go to the grocery store, go to Walmart, head back out that same day, we know statistics prove that when they get here, they're a lot more likely to go, maybe we'll stick around for a night. Maybe we'll take a zero tomorrow.
Most of them stay 2 to 3 nights.
So, and that's not uncommon either, right?
Yeah.
And come back to Franklin.
Cheryl, I'm sorry, will you repeat that?
It was just a question I was asking if we were the only, if that was the only two people else that's been asked for help or something.
That appears to be correct. It would be the TDA, TDC, and then whatever Macon County's currently putting into this service, correct?
And fairs.
And fares, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So there's a motion.
There's one or two.
Second.
Is there a motion on this roll? I
Yes.
didn't hear it, so.
Yes, Connie made a motion to approve half the expenditure with understanding if TDC would fund the remaining half, with also the understanding that the town attorney and the county attorney would work out an interlocal agreement. Since this is not a private entity, this is something that's not a norm technically. I have heard in other places that this is norm for some TDA boards to do this. So it would in the motion, it would allow for an interlocal agreement between the TDA authority and Macon County to enact this service, if that's what you guys desire. That was Connie's motion, and Josh has seconded it.
So I understand.
Oh, okay.
So in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thanks. I would like to applaud you guys for doing that. The ROI is definitely going to be there. And just being at the conference, no one else, no other communities come together and make this happen.
This initiative
Another way we're leading.
was on a lot of people's, under a lot of microscopes. A lot of people were really, really intrigued by this.
Okay.
They are, I mean, they're here in the downtown too. They start in February, March, April. That's when our season has been started.
We're fortunate enough, something that we have is a big benefit for our community versus any other community, is we have a bubble. I mean, we have when you start getting into Virginia and mid-Atlantic states, their hiker season is months long. You get the fast people and slow people, and there's also a lot more attrition there too, so this is a big thing we can take advantage of.
And just so you know, this will start mid-February, February 15th, and it will go through the end of May. So we will get the bulk.
Good.
Thank you.
Show up next Thursday, 12:15? Down the road?
Sure.
Okay.
Placement. Table comments?
Thank you, guys. Okay, moving on to the new business. Funding request for the natural bodybuilding competition. Mark, that is not there. You don't want that, Mark, but go.
How are you? We're going another Mark. Haven't bailed on us. We've got another Mark. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you? Yeah.
You guys, thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Mark couldn't be here tonight, so I'm gonna sit right here and just talk to you guys a little bit. I'm here because I just got done with the show, and I can kind of fill you in on what we're offering versus what I've been up against for the past 20 years competing. Just give you a rundown of the competition. This took off last year, our first. We're already doing our second. Speaking with how many competitors do we have total? 38?
38 last year.
Speaking with the competitors and the promoters, the show was a big success. Most typical first shows, and this is on the southeast, talking to over about 8 different promoters, generally have about 15 to 18 contestants. That's average. Some of them had 24 to 23. So we almost doubled that, and we're looking to double that again. So that being said, I'd like to tell you a little bit what goes into the competition. You're doing about a 20-week diet. You're drained. You're down to the last days. You're depleted down. So you're going to be traveling. We had 14 from here.
We had 14.
Of the 38. So those 14 are the ones that are most likely got homes that they can drive to. The rest of them are going to have to get a hotel Friday night. I can guarantee Friday night, because they have to, this is a drug-free organization, so they have to get drug tested, and they're paying for tanning. Those things take a couple hours, and that don't start till around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So for them to come in depleted, feeling exhausted, then having to stand around, wait on us to check them in, get drug tested, get polygraph tested, and then go through their tanning, you're looking at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. They're not going to drive back to Asheville. They're not going to drive back to Atlanta. So we're definitely going to get Friday night. Okay. Shows morning and night. It's all day long. They still haven't eaten. They're still exhausted. Show's over 7 to 8 o'clock. First thing they want to do is eat. An hour of eating, which is putting money back into the county here, into the city, and they're not going to drive home. I mean, when I do these shows, it's always 2 nights. And there was 148 contestants at the one that I did in Atlanta this Saturday. Every one of them had rooms. I mean, so I tried to speak to everybody because I knew this was coming up, and ask them, did you get rooms? Did you get rooms? Everybody got rooms. So, I don't know, but
And your end goal is to have a show that big here, right?
Be nice. Yeah.
We hope to get 80 this year.
we hope to get 80, and
But this year, next year, whenever.
And next year we'll have to have.
Your goal is to continue to grow this, correct?
oh, absolutely.
We want to get to 2 or 3 shows a year.
Eventually, we'd like to have that many, 2 or 3 times in the same year is what we're looking at. That's what these other promoters and organizations are doing, 3 to 4. The one that I just did, they do 8 a year. And they have anywhere from 70 contestants up to 150, where this was like the grand finale. So, it brings in some money to the city.
Besides that, you got the 6 judges. We got 6 judges. They stay. I mean, we pay for that, so they got 6. They're here all weekend.
The biggest thing that helps this with anything is advertising. There's 3 of us, so we take turns. I'm from Asheville, so I go to Asheville. I know a lot of people there. I'm hooked up there, so a lot of these gyms will let me in, set up tables. I explain to them what we are, who we are, what we offer, and I do it on a Monday when it's chest day. For everybody shows up on Monday because they feel guilty about what they did Saturday and Sunday. So it's busy, and we all try to do that. Joe, he's Mr. Georgia. He's always in Georgia about once a week. He's always passing out stuff, or even South Carolina. So we're giving out this stuff, and we've had a lot of contacts already. I mean, I think it's gonna double this year. I hope it doubles.
I went last year,
You
it was
thought
great.
last year.
Yeah, did anybody go last year?
I went, it was awful.
I had a house full of guests, so no, I didn't get away.
Here's the thing is,
Yeah, we
we've
have
all,
roughly 300, we have roughly 300 viewing, which is pretty good. I mean,
what helps that, Josh, is we've all done these shows, and we've learned from the mistakes or dislikes that we didn't like from other shows, and implemented that in here, and it made it just smooth. I mean, it's smooth running. Did you think it's pretty smooth running? Yeah.
But I do know one of the winners from last year, Gavin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I do. I know.
so I talked to you a little bit
You
about it last
behave
year.
yourself, young lady.
What we had discussed is the fact that everybody loved it because usually you're doing a show at a local high school gym. So a nice facility is something that they really enjoyed.
Well, if we can talk about that a minute. I made contact with all the 38 competitors after the show. That's something that I try to reach out and do. And there again, I'm grabbing out for constructive criticism. Let me know what we did wrong so we can better it for the next year. I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, nothing but good things. What we also do is we take a notebook we buy with our business card in it. We go by Diane at the chamber. She gives us coupons, all the map of the town, everything. We put it in there, and we give it to every competitor. And the tanning lady, she does the whole Southeast for every competition in the whole Southeast. I mean, we're talking over probably, 40 shows a year that she does. She stood up, and she took this, and she said, there's somebody that left this in the women's bathroom, and I just want to say that I have been doing this for 15 years, and I have never seen any organization submit something like this where your whole city's laid out in front of you. Here's where you can go, here's what you can do in between waiting and your competition times. So,
and what you're talking about, when I was rounding up judges, that's how they knew us. They'd say, oh, man, you're the one with a nice place. I'd say, that's us. They knew exactly.
that was the thing, is just trying to make it people feel like they want to be here. You know what I'm saying? That's some of the shows that we've done. It's you just kind of like cattle prodding, you know, and that you make them feel important like that. And it did. It worked. It really worked. We got a lot of compliments of it. So we're happy with it. Okay.
Cheryl, you have any questions?
No.
Just remember what I said about next week.
I'll bring him. I'll bring him shined up.
Just remember.
I will.
It's at the bottom of the flyer.
You were here.
Remember that. She wants you to come greased up. Ready to go next Thursday. Well, I'll call for it, just like a show.
My tan on. I mean, if it'll help. I mean, I'm not Lionel Richie. I'm easy.
We'll just set you up. We'll call all the photos for you. Do them all.
Josh.
I've never covered a TDA meeting, but I might next week.
And we will go to this next month.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
for
Thank y'all.
coming.
I appreciate it.
Just I've been deprived for a while, okay?
Jim, since you're waiting, I'm sorry. I gotta take a minute.
Take your shirt off, you got Connie's vote.
No, not always. Not always. No.
Tim, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go with the movie drop.
Okay.
And I'll have copies. Since you're in there, I'll give you back next time. That was his request.
I got the movie still, I think.
Jim, I was just talking about that today.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I got one. I got one, babe. Thank you.
You did. So, most of you know that we did the Ruby Drop last year, and we're wanting to make it an annual thing. We're going to do it again this year. We've approached the town about requesting that the street be closed again this year. This year, we've actually requested that the whole street be closed. They're going to vote on it at the next meeting. But we want to get all of the businesses on Main Street involved, and so I've met with a lot of the other business owners, and we want to make it a Main Street function. It's kind of privately put together, as a lot of our functions are. I know the town does a lot, but from the business owners, we have to get together and put some things together. And so I've met with Outdoor 76, Life's Bounty, Rathskeller. We've got the new store on Main Street. And we're trying to get as many businesses to be open late that night as possible.
and we're trying to drop the Ruby right in the square to attract as many people to downtown that night as possible. I know in the wintertime we don't have a lot of events, and so we're trying to do something that's going to generate an interest for our town in, right at the beginning of winter. Hikers are done. The Performing Arts Center is always doing stuff year round, but we don't have anything going on downtown Main Street. So this year we're going for the same thing. Last year a lot of our expense was building the Ruby and getting things to actually facilitate the event. This year we want to spend our money on marketing and involve the other businesses as well. So I'm speaking on behalf of me and the Main Street businesses, but we want to put as many businesses on our marketing as possible, and that's where we want to spend the majority of our money. So we're doing the same thing. We're going to have entertainment in the street. We have our patio. The Bowery has said that they're going to have a band. Rathscale is going to have a band. Latch Mountain is remodeled, and they are also going to have a band. So there's going to be entertainment all up and down the street. I haven't confirmed yet that the brewery is going to have entertainment, but there's going to be places down the entire street for people to hang out. What we are doing is something for everyone to come do the big countdown right at midnight, and we really expect that it's going to draw a lot of people. Last year we had around 1,000 people come right at midnight. People came from Rathscale. We had people walk up from Mulligan's just for the Ruby drop, and then everybody kind of went back and hung out and kept on having a good time. Ives family said they had a breakfast buffet and we're really busy. So it'll be very similar to last year in the way the event plays out, except that if the town will approve it, fingers crossed, the Ruby's going to move down the street so that everyone can come together and be involved. So what we're requesting is money. We're also going to approach the TDC, and we're going to spend any money that we get this year on just marketing versus the building of the Ruby and the things along that line. So you can see on how we're going to spend the money that our marketing budget is a lot higher than it was last year. Last year it's about quadruple what it was last year just on marketing. So we about broke even last year, which we didn't expect that we would make anything just because of the cost of the Ruby. We expect this year we'll probably break even, but our end goal is that lots of people are coming downtown. So we're not really looking at last year, this year, next year even, but in 5 to 10 years that we have as many people as Brasstown gets all on Main Street.
I heard the hoopla all the way out at my place. I did.
It was a really neat event if you didn't get by. You could see the Ruby from the high school. It was out 60 feet in the air. Joe Sanders came out and hoisted it up in a crane. We dropped about 1,300 balloons on the street. Sounded like fireworks going off. Kids were stomping.
That's awesome.
Are you going to talk to the TDC?
We are at TDC.
Okay.
So on your budget it says 3,000 from the TDC, and it doesn't have us in here.
On the project budget, page 3.
You're right. It's supposed to be TDA, and I put TDC.
Are you asking for 3,000 from both of them, or 3,000 from us?
We will ask. We understand that we're not going to get that much, but we try and ask for more than we need.
And usually we have a printout of what we did last year. What we did?
Last year we did 1,000, and the TDC did the same amount, 1,000. So, we'd be happy with that, in all honesty. Again, every dollar that we get from the two boards this year is going to be spent on marketing, and we are going to not just market at Motor Company Group. We know that we're going to be busy. There's no real reason that everybody on Main Street shouldn't be busy. Last year, Rathscale was slammed, but we just want to keep on growing the event. So, yeah.
Any other
Any
questions?
questions? Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Great job at Lurch.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And I was going to say for the last guys, you're right, with the facility, I heard that from people. People came and ate after their event because they wanted, greasy fatty food. After they
Yeah,
started themselves for a
starving.
week, there were people talking about they'd never been in that nice of a facility. So, hopefully,
I heard
yeah.
that too, that it's in gym.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, and lots of the gyms that they're in aren't as nice as
No.
Franklin High School.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
It's not. It's much more of an upgrade than that. So.
That facility in general for our town is probably one of the best.
I-
Not a lot of small towns have stuff.
No, they don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Moving on to the applicant for the TDA board.
Yes, the first applicant that you have in your agenda packet is Mr. Donnie Bishop with Frogtown Deli and Market. He would be serving one of the 2 vacancies that we currently have for a tourist-related business. So I would bring that before the board tonight, and I would make the motion to recommend Donnie Bishop to the town board for appointment to the TDA board for a 3-year term.
So what are you looking for, a second or a motion? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
You spelled Patillo wrong. Good thing it's not a spelling competition.
And that's good. Let's go.
The second
Sit with
applicant?
the people.
The second applicant that you have, and you don't have this one in your agenda packet, I'll pass that one around, is you have Mr. Tim Crabtree with Motor Company Grill and Crabtree General Store, who is interested in being on the TDA board to fill the second vacancy that we have for a tourist-related business. And with that being said, I would make the motion to appoint Mr. Tim, to recommend appointment by the town, to the town board, to appoint Tim Crabtree for a 3-year term on the TDA board.
I'll second that one
He,
too.
he doesn't have any references, so we just approved somebody for a restaurant. Is there a problem with that?
No, given that,
Given that we can't find,
as
scare
long as
them
it's
up.
tourist-related.
So do we have a second?
I seconded it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Asking for some reference.
That's fine.
We'll get some.
Moving on to the EDC video for TDA.
Okay, this was a request I wanted to bring before the board. Premier Marketing had a very good idea, and I wanted to run this by the board. They would like to know if, I don't know if anyone has saw the EDC video that the EDC board has put together, marketing Franklin and Macon County. And we wanted to see if it would be okay with the TDA board to allow Premier Marketing to put that video on our website for TDA. Wouldn't hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I make a motion to do that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, any items from the board?
I do have one that I'd like the board to clarify that I didn't ask earlier regards to the ATC committee request. Where would the board like that funding to come from? If you'll look in your budget, I was trying to, and I should have mentioned that earlier, if you'll look where you have funding in your miscellaneous / your festivals line item, your remaining balance there is $23,927.60, so it could come there.
That sounds
That's
good.
right.
Yeah.
Play dance.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
If I can get a motion to register everything's
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Sorry.
The next regular scheduled TDA meeting is December 14th at 5:30 here at the town hall. And if I could have a motion to.
So moved.
I'll second.
You're always good for that one.
I'm almost ready
Thank
to
you
go
guys.
home.
Have a good evening. Connie, I'm right.
I saw you were the only other guy that showed up in middle school last night.
You can sit next to Gavin.
Yeah.
Whoever Gavin is. I don't know who Gavin is, but I'm going to find Gavin.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who it was. I figured it was somebody.